The task force was announced by the Secretary General at the General Assembly in 2018. The Secretary General has asked the task force to answer one key question for him, which is how do we harness the power of financial technology to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals? Our task force brings together members from the private sector, including traditional financial institutions, as well as some of the upstarts, the digital finance companies. We also have central bank governors, ministers, and several thought leaders from around the world. Together, we're trying to answer a number of questions to help get to the final answer, and that is what's happening right now in the financial sector due to technology. Also, what has this done in order to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals so far? What are the possibilities for digital and technology to do more to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals? And then finally, how do we make that happen? How do we maximize the opportunities and then minimize the risks? Probably the best known use case of digital and financing in terms of achieving the SDGs is financial inclusion. Most of the world now is familiar with financial inclusion and what it's done to create access through mobile phones and other means for individuals around the world and provide them basic financial services. And a lot of people may have heard about some of the business innovations that have grown up around digital finance, especially retail digital finance. For example, pay-go systems like pay-go energy have enabled people not just to receive energy, but to receive clean energy within their households. And this is very much as a result of the innovations on the retail system. So in a lot of countries around the world, when we're talking about how digital financing can achieve the SDGs, they really think about some of this grassroots stuff. How do we enable individuals to accumulate the money they need or access the credit they need and make the payments that they need to get the basic services that they definitely want for their families? If you look at other markets and you start to talk about the impact of digital in finance, for instance, if you look at Europe or the United States or China, you see that a lot of the impact of digital is going on in the capital markets and also in the wealth management space. People are thinking about how do we use digital means to channel more investment money towards sustainable outcomes, particularly things like renewable energy on a larger scale, also around climate, so for instance on investing in climate bonds, but increasingly in other enterprises which are important to achieve the SDGs, like waste management, like water, like health and education. So what's very interesting about bringing these two pieces of work together is we're looking at what digital does as far as retail innovations in the very grassroots level and trying to connect it all the way up to the global capital markets. So how do we channel that money to these retail innovations over time so we can achieve the scale we need to actually reach the 2030 development goals?